Welcome to Precisely Nowhere and happy November. It's been a minute since I did a solo episode, and I'm stoked for today's episode. I can't believe it's November already. Like, where has 2025 gone? And it's been a wild year for sure. I am grateful that I see so much community coming together and uplifting each other, and I want to keep those vibes going into 2026. So, this episode was inspired by my time at Shine Away. I spoke a little bit about that event in October, and I went to it in October. It was amazing. I was surrounded by brilliant people, powerful honesty, and a reminder that joy is in becoming. It's in becoming who we are meant to be. And there's so much joy that can be found in that journey if we look for it. And if we slow down to find it. This episode marks a new chapter, Unapologetically Me. This was an exercise that was prompted by Shine Away to prep for the event. We were asked to come up with a title of our next chapter. And I loved that exercise because it really got me thinking, where am I in my journey? And if I could title that, what would be the next chapter? This episode is inspired by Shine Away. My title for the next chapter is Unapologetically Me, the chapter of expansion. I feel like I'm in this mode of expanding and embracing my authentic self more than I have in the past. And it is awesome and invigorating. And I love talking about expansion, that kind of expansion that asks you to trust your timing, speak your truth, and stop shrinking to make others feel comfortable. I don't know if you can relate, but I've been there at different points in my life when I shrank myself in the moment to make others feel comfortable. And I didn't feel comfortable to speak my truth. And we're done with that. We are speaking our truth and we are letting our light shine bright because we all have a light to shine. And I think we all deserve to shine in this world. From Mariska Hargitay's advice to Karen Pittman and so many others, I hope this episode inspires you to evolve out loud. And if you need a permission slip, not that we need it, this is your permission slip to do that. If you've been feeling a pull toward more alignment, more courage, and more you, this is your sign to lean into that. Sometimes we need those little reminders to fully embrace what is meant for us. I definitely need that. Shine Away was a huge reminder of that for me, and I want to pay it forward because that is what we're doing here at Precisely Nowhere. We're paying it forward and we are stepping into a new chapter, welcoming you to step into a new chapter with us. Never too late to title the next chapter of your story. And I welcome everyone into the Unapologetically Me era. It's going to be a vibe, and I know that Shine Away came at the perfect time. I needed the reminder that becoming is a lifelong process. There is no right time frame for when some things are going to happen. But if you embrace the journey of becoming along the way and find joy along the way, it will be a game changer for how you experience life. That's my hot take. Two quotes that spoke to me and I wanted to share. One is by Mariska Hargitay, feel the fear and do it anyway. And Karen Pittman, my brain is stronger than the algorithm. These two quotes rang true to me. Fear is normal. Fear is something that I feel every day, and I try not to let it get the best of me because there's so much awesome shit out there in the world. And if we let fear dictate how we move, I don't think we're going to move in alignment with our authentic selves because we're going to be operating in a state of fear. I've been there in my life. When I was younger, maybe not doing that thing because I was afraid of failing and afraid of going to something alone. And I love this quote, feel the fear and do it anyway, because that's where the real growth happens. Growth isn't always comfortable, it's uncomfy sometimes. And we have to feel the fear and do it anyway, because it's going to lead to greater things. My brain is stronger than the algorithm. Oh, thank you, Karen Pittman, for reminding us of this. Algorithms are everywhere, it feels like nowadays. Every platform has an algorithm, and our brains are stronger than the algorithm. At the end of the day, we're humans and we are connecting on a human to human level. We're using AI to do that, but our brains are stronger than the algorithm, and we have to remember that. I am remembering that, and it's empowering me to trust my brain and to forget the algorithm. Like, do what's best for me and in alignment with my authentic self and my growth, and the algorithm can follow. Maybe that is a hot take and something that another person wouldn't recommend. I work in social media and advertising, so I know that algorithms are real and there is a lot of helpfulness that comes with algorithms, but I think it's most important that we stay authentic to ourselves and our personal stories. And that's something that the algorithm can't match and will evolve with us. Both of these quotes speak to trusting yourself in a noisy world. That's how I resonated with them. Emotionally, creatively, and spiritually, they apply to all aspects. Where are you craving expansion in your own life right now? Maybe it's something that wasn't top of mind until you listened to this episode. And now that you're thinking about it, think about what expansion means to you in your life. Is there an area that you can expand to help you become a more authentic version of yourself? And if there is, ruminate on it, journal about it, however you can wrap your head around it. Give yourself time to think about how you can expand in your own life and what steps you can take to bring that to fruition. The joy is in becoming. This was a theme with Shine Away, and I have been carrying this on since that event. It showed up in different voices and moments throughout the event. I pulled a few quotes from my notes to highlight as key takeaways, and I love them. I shared some of these in my LinkedIn post, and I wanted to share them on the pod for anyone that doesn't follow me on LinkedIn. I hope this inspires you to live your best life and stay grounded and motivated to find joy in the becoming. The magic is in the mess. Jasper Guest said that in her panel with Brittany Snow, and they were talking about September Letters, their company that they founded, and I love that and resonated with it. The magic is in the mess. There is beautiful growth that happens in the mess, and there is so much that we can learn about ourselves in that. So embrace the mess and embrace the magic that you can find in the mess. Sometimes it's challenging to see the beauty when it's messy, and I think that that is where the magic really happens. And I loved these words from Jasper. Another woman's success is my joy. Lily Singh. Love this so much. And it is so true. Other people's success is my success, and it is my joy. I love to see people thriving and living their best lives. And I will continue to hold this in my day to day and apply it to all aspects of life. We need to stop the competition between women and between people. We are all here to have our own journeys, and I think it's amazing when we uplift each other and celebrate each other and we don't tear each other down. You are the CEO of you, Jenny Garth. Yes, queen. I mean, come on. If you're not living with that mindset yet, I welcome you to embrace it because it's everything and it's putting me in my main character era that is indefinite. We are the CEOs of ourselves. We can only control ourselves. And there's so much power in that when we remember it. Like, come on. I'm here for it. So I'm the CEO of me. And there's so much power in that. I mean, enough said, right? Period. Sometimes you're called to revisit your past to move forward. Tempe Locke. Thank you so much for this reminder. Oh man, I am such a fangirl for Tempe Locke. I got to meet her, got to listen to an excerpt of her new book that is an audiobook. And she also spoke on a panel, and she is the author of From Scratch. There is an adaptation on Netflix starring Zoe Saldana, and it is everything. I love Italy so much. I studied abroad in Florence, and Italy is near and dear to my heart. So the fact that this brings one of my favorite places in the world together with beautiful storytelling is just chef's kiss. Thank you, Tembi Locke, for sharing your story, for being vulnerable, and for reminding us that sometimes we are called to revisit our past to move forward. We all have trauma that we go through in our lives, and we can forget it, but we can also remember it, embrace it head on, grow from it, and not have it dictate our future selves. So I'm a believer in growing from our trauma, learning from our experiences. And I do think that revisiting our past is something that we have to do sometimes to move forward. Everyone's journey is different, but don't be afraid to look back, take those lessons and grow. Therapy is a huge way that I've learned to do that. It isn't always a tool that we are given as we're children or in our adolescence. And I think it's healthy and normal for us to look to others if we need that help with moving forward and remembering that our past may have a impact on how we move in life. And it's okay to reflect and then deal with it. And all of these quotes and my experience at Shine Away reminded me that becoming isn't about perfection. It's about returning to your truth again and again because life is a journey, and it's important that we remember that it's not perfect. We may see things on social that look like it's perfect, and it may sound like it's perfect on the pod here and there, but it's messy. And while I don't always share the messy parts of how I'm feeling some days, they're there. And I go to therapy. That is why I'm in therapy, is because I've realized as I've gotten older that I need help with coping skills. I've had a lot of change in my life over the last few years, moving to California and starting a new relationship, going from long distance to being together all the time. And while there is so much beauty in the change that has happened, there is still growth that is happening and me pushing myself out of my comfort zone. And in all aspects of life, from my career to relationships to my creativity, and life can feel like a mess, but there is so much to be learned in that journey, and there's so much joy to be found. I know that life is filled with ups and downs. I'm not trying to sugarcoat it. I'm someone who tries to always find a silver lining, but I think it's important to remember we're going to have rough patches and it's okay. We're going to get through them. I truly believe that if you set your mind to it, you can accomplish anything. And as someone that's living with narcolepsy, I've had to overcome different obstacles and come to terms with limitations that come with this invisible disability that is incurable. And I'm not trying to have a pity party right now. I'm just being real. Sometimes there's challenging seasons in life, and building a life we love can feel hard some days, especially with everything that's happening in the world. Stay strong. One quote from one of my favorite books, A Tale of Two Cities by Charles Dickens. It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. This feels so true some days and moments, and I think that it crosses my mind probably at least once every couple of days. And it keeps me going. So I wanted to share how I've been feeling in my own life lately in different aspects to help inspire you to revisit your past, to move forward, find joy in the becoming, and take the learnings that I've learned from China Way and pay them forward. So, in my relationships, I've been revisiting my past so I can continue to grow and move forward. This means I'm unlearning some things that may have been normal at one point in my life, but I've now outgrown them. I'm embracing my authentic self and remembering to stay present in this journey. In my past, I feel like I've been someone that looks ahead and doesn't always stay present. And that is a personal goal of mine, is to stay present in this journey and not be so future forward always. I've been doing a lot of this work in therapy. I'm grateful for the growth and the new tips that I'm learning so I can show up as my authentic self. This has impacted all of my relationships for the better. And I am a huge advocate for not fearing or shying away from our past, but conquering it. Creatively, my creative energy right now is I'm embracing the messy middle, I'm finding the magic in that, and continuing to celebrate other people and women's success. I'm dreaming and I'm taking creative chances because why not? And taking time to enjoy the journey at my pace, trusting that there's no perfect timing. And that has given me so much peace of mind. You don't even know, because there's so much out there in the world. It's easy to compare ourselves. And I am done with that. I've been there at different points in my life, not going to lie. We are all about honesty here on the pod. But I'm done with the comparison and I feel lighter because of that. In my career, in my 9 to 5, and someone who is helping build the culture they want to see. The building is messy, but it's where the beauty lies. It may be a hot take, but I feel like the more we become hybrid work styles and we lean on AI, the humanity is getting lost a bit. I think that it's great that we embrace AI, but I think that it's even better that we remember that there's humans doing the job, and we need to remember our humanity. We all have things in our lives, people to take care of, our own passions, and we're not robots. I don't ever want to be a robot. And I've reached a point in my career where I trust myself and it's liberating. I've put the work in on my craft, and while there's still more to learn and grow, I know I'm a force of nature and I'm embracing that fully. As a vice president program director, gonna toot my own horn there because I've worked hard for this. I take pride in creating inclusive environments where people feel seen, heard, supported and set up for success so they can thrive. That is so important to me. I've been embracing this human centric concept as a leader. And I love using my influence for the greater good of my teams and clients. And know the more that I lean into my creativity and the pod, the more I'm growing in my career because I'm becoming a more authentic version of myself. And that doesn't just apply when I'm outside of work, but it applies when I'm doing my 9 to 5. It's encouraging me to be more creative in how I look at challenges. And I am a creator. So I love that I get to bring that mindset to my 9 to 5. While I'm not a creator in my 9 to 5, I am embracing the fact that I'm a creator and bringing that energy in all aspects of my life because that's who I am. And I am embracing that. And it almost feels weird to say that sometimes because I'm in my creator journey. I'm a few years in, and I don't know if you can relate, but there's a lot of figuring it out along the way. And I feel like the first few years feels like I'm taking these baby steps, like I'm on training wheels and I'm starting to come off of them. And I love that because it is empowering and it gets me so excited. So, expansion means I'm still figuring it out, but doing it with more intention and less apology. And growing pains with expansion, and there's fear, there's doubt, there's resistance. I've felt all of those things along my growth journey, especially in the last couple of years when I moved from New York to California and I've expanded the pod and continuing my creative journey and my journey to keep growing as a human. I participated in a workshop at Shine Away called Stop Abandoning Yourself. It was led by Sabrina Zohar. She's a dating relationship coach and podcast host of the Sabrina Zohar Show. In this session, we spoke about self trust, small promises kept daily, and the compound effect of showing up for yourself. Some of us didn't build self trust when we were younger. That's just real facts. But it's never too late to start rebuilding that self trust. I can say that I didn't always have self trust as a creator. I loved creating even when I was younger, and I've always been crafty, but I didn't always trust myself and my voice. And I am trusting it now, and it's never too late to start. Self trust applies to all aspects of our life. And if you want to start building that, you can start with small promises kept daily. Start small. For me, I started making sure I brushed my teeth twice a day. We're going on a slight tangent. It's not exactly related to creativity because I realize there's small little ways we can build self trust. And this is one of the ways that I've been doing it. For most of my life, I've been great at it, but I'm not going to lie, I've had days when I'm too tired. So, this is a small promise I keep daily, and I've turned it into a nighttime wind down routine. So I'll brush my teeth, I wash my face, I lather my face with lotion to keep it hydrated while I sleep. We're in our 30s now, and we need to be conscious of taking care of ourselves. And it's these little moments that make a huge difference in the long run, my opinion. Drinking water is also another small promise that I make to myself every day, keeping myself hydrated. I also put tasks and to-dos in my personal Google Calendar and small things that I want to accomplish. Some days things don't always get complete, so they move to the next day, and all that matters is that we're taking baby steps. I learned that it takes 300 repetitions for your body to know a move and 3,000 to build a new neural pathway. Those numbers may sound high, but if you think about doing small things for yourself daily, by the time you know it, you are going to have it be second nature and have a new neural pathway that knows already how to do that thing. And it's going to be less resistance and more embracing. So keep that in mind, work through those growing pains. And there's so many ways that we can keep small promises to ourselves daily to build that trust. For me, I'm building the trust that I can take care of myself and take time to do that, because it's so easy to be too tired to wash your face at night or brush your teeth and just go to bed. But I'm trying to slow down and make sure that I'm not abandoning my self care, because I've been there where I have, because of other little things that needed to get done, or I was just too tired. And now we're making time. There's growing pains in it, but we're doing it and it's becoming a daily habit. I can't wait till I have this new neuro pathway that's just like clockwork. The idea that resistance means it's working is something that I have embraced and learned from this workshop as well. Resistance means we're challenging ourselves, and there is growth that comes from that. So don't let the resistance hold you back. I have experienced resistance lately, stepping into new creative projects, and the resistance comes from a bit of fear. It comes from doubt. It comes from, what if it doesn't happen like I want it to happen? And self trust and community is helping me get through it. I'm blessed to have people in my life that I can lean on, share my doubts with, and get that reassurance. So, unsolicited advice to you to lean on your people. And the more self trust that you build, the easier it's going to be to navigate this expansion. So, start small. A quote that I wanted to leave you with from Jenny Garth is, change often comes with loss, but the cost is higher to stay where you no longer belong. I love this so much, and it can feel like loss sometimes when we're changing. When I moved from New York to California, there was a little bit of loss there. Not a ton, because we have airplanes nowadays and FaceTime. There's so many ways to keep in touch with people, but it does feel like a little bit of loss. But it's more important that we embrace life and new opportunities and take chances on ourselves and our growth. Expansion isn't necessarily adding more, it's about outgrowing what no longer fits. Sometimes that's outgrowing people. That's a little harsh, maybe, but it's true. Or outgrowing a job that no longer serves you and is in alignment with how you are growing and evolving. For me, expansion is the natural next step in becoming. I'm embracing that with intention and with an open mind. Maybe this next chapter for you isn't about reinventing yourself. Maybe it's about remembering who you've always been. That's something that I've been resonating with as I continue to grow and embrace this next chapter. Being unapologetically me is not something that is a reinvention. It's me just leaning into more of me and the power behind being unapologetically me. So, remember that the joy is in the figuring it out. The courage is in the becoming, and the expansion. That's the celebration. I can't wait to attend Shine Away next year. I'm hoping the stars align with everything else that I may have going on in my life, because I feel like every time I go, I become so empowered and a more authentic version of myself. And it speaks to all of the people there, the connections that I made, the conversations, and the awesome women and people that are sharing their lived experiences and paying it forward so that we can all live our best lives and feel empowered to go out there, conquer the world. So we will chat soon. Thank you all for listening. I love you so much. I am so appreciative for all the support that I have gotten along this journey. Thank you so much for listening. I love you all. If you find it in your hearts to leave a review, please do that. I pay attention to them. It helps me create content that is resonating with you. Take care and stay safe out there.
Music done by Marco. You can find him at midnight, MIDNITE_mind80 on Instagram for more of his work.